we want that end result where our kids are eating and they're happy and they enjoy meal times now, we've got to be really grateful for all of the little tiny milestones in between. Hi, parents, and welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in every week. If you are not already, make sure you are subscribed and so you don't really miss anything, because every week I have a new topic or a new tip or new strategy to give you for your picky eaters. Now, this week and sort of this month, I guess, we're in November when I'm filming this, so it is Thanksgiving time here in America, where traditionally we talk about, being thankful for things and, counting our blessings, things like that. And I just thought it would tie in really nicely, because one of the things that I always talk about in regards to mindset with feeding and picky eaters is being grateful for all of the small little baby steps. And I know that can be super hard when our goal is we want them eating specific foods or new vegetables. And, it could be hard because if they're only just touching something or licking something or smelling something, and you are expecting them to eat it, those little tiny steps seem so insignificant, but they are not insignificant. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How to use gratitude to help us get to that end result. Because if we want that end result where our kids are eating and they're happy and they enjoy meal times now, we've got to be really grateful for all of the little tiny milestones in between. Right. So this is something I've talked about definitely before. It's a chapter in my book. It's a whole module in my Picky Plate to Clean Slate course. It's very, very important. And it's something that I missed for a very long time. So when I, had first started being a feeding therapist, doing things like teaching parents to do gratitude for food stuff, that was so not on my radar, right? So this is, I'd say, an unconventional approach to picky eating, but it is, in my opinion, so overlooked and missed and very, very important and key to doing, because when we want to see changes and shifts in our environment, we have to do things a little bit differently than the way we have been. And if in the past we've been, very dismissive of some of these little steps, we got to change that. So I actually created for you guys a 30-day gratitude challenge. Now, I really am super excited about this one, and I want everyone to download this freebie and try it out, because I am telling you, just like the book, The Magic, being grateful for something, at least one thing every day, can result in huge changes and shifts and happiness and just, getting closer to your overall goal, whatever that may be. It will start with these small changes. And I can't wait to hear what happens at the end of this 30-day challenge with all of the people that try it. So I cannot wait. I'm super excited about it. Now, to get the link to join the challenge, what it is you're going to download the sheet. And each day I put a different sort of little prompt on there, and it's in different categories. So some of them are be grateful for a food your child touched, or a food your child ate, or something in your fridge, or so you can see that they're sort of segmented into different areas to give you something to start with. Sometimes when we're doing gratitude work, it's oh my gosh, I know there's things I need to be grateful for, but I can't think of any of them right now. So this just gives you a little prompt, something to get you started. And all I want you to do, the whole challenge is literally writing one thing, one sentence. So Now, there is a rule, and I've talked about this before, but it is really important, is that we're not going to use negative words in our gratitude statements. So you're not going to say, I am grateful my child is not a picky eater, because the word not is just like, it kind of gets like erased, and our mind focuses on the thing you don't want, the picky eating, right? So just in that example, but that's why we're not going to use words like not. So instead, just rephrase it so it's positive. And I know I've talked about that before, but not everyone listens to every single episode. So that's something I think I talked about in last month's episode, possibly about quickie manifesting tips, I think. So same idea. So that's very like your homework. Just every day, write literally one thing you are grateful for. And if you get to the end, all 30 days, like, you really should be so proud that you stuck with something. And when you do something every day for a month, it kind of becomes a habit. So I'm hoping that it'll be a habit that you just are grateful for some of these things. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be limited to picky eating. The challenge sheet is very specific to picky eating, but if you want to expand and go off and talk about other things you're grateful for, like, there is no harm in that. That is all great. So that is sort of what we are going to focus on. This week I'm going to definitely be posting some affirmations of gratitude and, things we could be grateful for. And I think sometimes we think it has to be like a specific food, but it can really be things like, I'm grateful that my child smelled some new food, right? For some kids, smelling a new food is not fun for them, right? If they have some sensory challenges to overcome, smelling might be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you smelled that, right? It could be even just thinking about the area that you eat, which was last week's focus a lot with like the happy meals and happy tables, but something in your area that you're grateful for. So it could just be the table or the chairs that you sit on, or you might love like a painting that like makes you happy when you sit in your dining or eating area and you look at that painting or that family picture and it makes you smile. So something in your dining area. You could also talk about things in your pantry, in your fridge that you're grateful for. And especially this one is the money to buy this food, like being so grateful that you can afford whatever the food is that's in your fridge. And for some people, it'll be organic food. For some people, it'll be some takeout food. Whatever it is, you can still be grateful that you had money to pay for that item, right? Even things like, and this does not have to be about me at all, but maybe someone who's helped you out with this feeding journey. It could be your child's feeding therapist, or maybe just a good friend, or someone who's given you advice that have helped. So, just being grateful to connect with whatever person who helped you, or, being grateful for the knowledge, just learning, grateful that you have access to things like podcasts and books and courses and trainings that can, help you transform this problem. And sometimes it's being grateful for the ability to learn, like that's a privilege that not everyone has, and it's a privilege that is a recent privilege, if you think about it, because, if you think back to your parents' generation, they did not have access to this kind of information before. They didn't have Instagram stories and podcasts and, of course there were books, but there wasn't Amazon and it wasn't so easy to find this kind of information. So what a privilege it is to literally be alive during a time where there's resources to help you with any problem you might have, right? Isn't that kind of amazing? I feel like we totally take that for granted these days, like how amazing it is that we could just hop on the computer, hop on our phone. A phone, like if you were to tell someone like 100 years ago that you were going to have like your own phone and you'd be able to talk to anyone in the world and they'd be able to see your face, like they would think that you were crazy or you were some kind of witchcraft. Like they wouldn't like even be able to conceive like what the technology that we have now and how lucky we are, right? Like I feel so lucky and grateful that I'm able to produce this podcast. Like people can be creative and share what they know and help people from anywhere in the world. Like, isn't that so crazy? I every time I think about that, I just like, it kind of like humbles me for a second. 'Cause I'm like, wow, like I couldn't have done that even honestly. Okay. Well, I'm 35, right? I couldn't have done that this even like 20 years ago, and I couldn't have because of the age I was at. But I'm just saying, like, even like technology, like 25 years ago, like couldn't really do this. And then if you go back just a few years before that, 30 years ago, like no way this never was a thing. Like people didn't even have computers in their house like that. They're not as common as they are today. And they didn't have a phone computer that, now our parent course, people can access on their phone. So they can just be listening on their way to work and learning about what to do. I mean, like that kind of technology is wild. Just take a second to be grateful that we have this amazing technology, honestly. So it's a shorter, definitely a shorter podcast episode, because the concept is pretty simple, but, and I've talked about this before, but the book, The Magic, which is all about like the magic of being grateful for things in your life. And it's all different ways. Like each day, I think it's 28 days, and each day is a different exercise that you have to do with in regards to gratitude. And it promises transformation and it's sure to deliver. So this is the same sort of idea. It's just very focused to picky eating. But if this is a topic that interests you, that book is a great next step to that. So be sure to check that out as well. I think Rhonda Byrne is the author, but if you typed in The Magic, it'll come right up. And of course, don't forget that we also, I have my Mealtime Mindset book where I do talk about the power of gratitude and the importance of gratitude and how that can really be very transformational. I'll just do a quick story about one of the clients that I've worked with coaching. And when I was coaching her and I was talking to her about, just like writing down once per day, something that she was grateful for. And when I had come back to her the next week, she said that exercise was so helpful and transformative that, she started noticing more and more positives than negatives in her child's eating. And like slowly but surely, things started like kind of lining up and these strategies seem to be working a lot faster. And she attributed a lot of that to just that little small shift in, being grateful for all of the small things. So I thought that was that's like a powerful example of how you can use this to help propel your child's progress, right? It's not like, okay, well, if I'm going to say I'm grateful, then like all of a sudden they're just going to start eating and I won't have to do anything else. No, it's not really about that. It's about when you notice more positive things, you get more positive things to talk about, right? So works the opposite way too. When people complain a lot and are focused on negative things, they get negative things to talk about, because what you focus on appreciates or grows, right? That's what I've always heard. So wherever your focus is, that's what you will see expanding in your reality. So that's why when you focus on being grateful for all the positive things, you get more positive things to talk about, to be grateful for, right? So we don't want to hear any complaining or, talking about how progress is so slow, or, your child's therapist is, they change the time too much and they're annoying you, or whatever it is. Whatever it is, we want to try to stay in the positive lane, because it will only help. There is no downside to it. So give this challenge a try. Now, you can access this challenge through Instagram even. I have it set up so if you comment at all with the word gratitude, it will send you a link to sign up. There will also be a link on our website as well that you can sign up through there. So, either one of those platforms would work. On our website, it will be under resources. Okay, so definitely check that out. Or if you're on Instagram, you can just comment or DM the word gratitude in a reel or a story or an Instagram post, and you will get a link sent to you to join that 30-day gratitude challenge. And please don't forget to share and post about it, okay? All right, thanks so much, and we will see you next week.
Thank you for listening to How to Unpicky Your Picky Eater. To learn more about achieving your child's feeding goals, check out Christine's website at foodologyfeeding.com. And be sure to tune in next time to How to Unpicky Your Picky Eater.